Like this, slow, like this. We are slow, like this. Like this, slow, like this. Move it really slow, like this. So Korea was pretty special. It was the first time I really went abroad. Now, yeah, I've been in Zimbabwe, but it was still Africa. So this was the first time I really went far away. I went without anyone, no baby brother, no friends. I went alone and it was it was terrifying. I got on a plane, flew, I don't know how many hours. I just know that the total of my trip from South Africa to Korea was 24 hours. So 20 hours of, 19 hours of flying and 5 hours by bus going from Seoul to Changwon. So yeah, I wasn't in Seoul, I was in Changwon. Changwon is about an hour from Busan, if you know where that is. It is an amazing city. I really had like the time of my life in South Korea in a big way. First impressions of South Korea were just like, it's this magnanimous place with lots of writing that I actually thought was Japanese. Everything was really like bright and sparkly. It was the first time I was also really in like a metropolis. So it was huge. Tall buildings that I'm not used to and all these lights, and it was the first time in my life I really knew what it felt like to be illiterate. You can't read, it's all Korean. By the way, Korean has only 24 letters, mostly phonetic, so it looks hard, but it's actually not that hard to learn to read, not the actual language. It's actually pretty hard. Anyway, so got to Korea and I was so scared. So this is 3 a.m. All I have is myself and a really big bag, and I couldn't read and I was alone. So my first weekend I basically just like hid in my flat.
Don't worry, Mom. This first time we'll only take a few steps outside.
All right, just to the mailbox and back.
I was so scared. But then eventually I went out and I met a really like fat Korean guy in a truck. I saw everyone gather around this truck. Like obviously, like for those of you who've seen a Mexican food truck, I think you know what I'm talking about. But just like obviously not hygienic, but I was so hungry. So I went up to the truck and I don't know how, I don't even remember how, but somehow got the idea over to me how much money I should give him. So I gave him money and he gave me this wonderful, this like crispy, it's just like dough. It's dough with sugar and nuts, and he fried it, and it was so good. It was delicious, and I don't know. It opened my whole it opened up my heart. The way to my heart is like, guys, it's through my stomach. So it really opened my eyes to like how nice Koreans were, and from there I have to say it was pretty cool. Like Koreans are really nice. They're really friendly. They bow. This is something. This is something I had to learn to get like rid of once I left Korea. I bowed to people and they sort of like, what are you doing? When I went back home, I bow. People are like, is something wrong with your neck or what's your problem? The second thing I did was I bought pudding. I didn't know it was pudding. It looked like soup. It had this picture of like what I thought was a tomato on it, and I cooked it and the soup was disgusting. Now, we don't really have parcinnamons in our country, but this seems to be a big thing in the northern hemisphere, so I cooked parcinnamon soup, and it was very bad. So my first 3 months, I was also pretty afraid of eating dog, which I'd read in a blog is like a major thing that Koreans eat, and lo and behold, it's some great delicacy. So I did not eat meat for the first 3 months I lived in Korea, until I spoke to someone and they were like, "Wahaha, you idiot! There's lots of meat here." They also have, by the way, the best fried chicken in the world. There is nowhere in the world, and don't even try to argue with me, that has fried chicken that is as crunchy, delicious, and
there's a reason why it's called comfort food. Think about that. Anytime you see someone eating a burger, they never look sad. They always look happy. You might look sad walking in, you might look sad walking out, but when the actual event of eating a burger is happening, life couldn't be better.
I made a lot of really funny mistakes. I lived off ramen and vegetables.
I was thinking of going vegan.
I'm a level 5 vegan. I won't eat anything that casts a shadow.
Wow.
And then one day, I noticed they have these cool little bottles of like vitality drinks. And I thought, this looks interesting. I found one little green bottle, it said, energy, and I was like, cool, that's exactly what I need. So I took it to my work, to my school, and I drank some of it. The teacher said, Lika teacher, do you know what that is? And I said, yeah, it's energy. She said, ha ha ha, it's a drink for men's vitality. So I'm not really sure what I drank, but it worked. I don't know if I grew chest hair in the meantime, but I didn't grow chest hair. But yeah, that was pretty funny. If no one has told you this today,